Hey guys, this is Fantasia from the Mastery Math Lab, and today I'm going to be going over the ranges of sine, cosine, and tangent. So we're just going to go ahead and take these one at a time and start with sine. So what we have to remember here is range is going to be referring to our y-axis. So whenever we're looking at ranges for functions, all we want to do is look at our values on the y-axis. So we want to start by finding our lowest and highest points on our graph and figuring out what those y values are. So here our lowest point, if we look at our y-axis, is going to be at -1, and our highest point on the y-axis will be +1. So that means we're going from a value of -1 to +1. And we're going to go ahead and include these values because we actually have points on our graphs at those y values. So the range for sine is going to be bracket -1, 1, bracket. Now we can move on to cosine, which is actually going to be very similar to sine because it's just the graph shifted, the same graph shifted. So we're just going to go ahead and look at our y-axis. Find our lowest points and then our highest point. So if we look at our lowest and go to the y-axis, it's going to be again at -1, and then our highest point is again at +1. So our range is going to be exactly the same as for sine, just bracket -1, 1, bracket. Now tangent's going to be slightly different. Don't get thrown off by the fact that we have multiple lines in our tangent graphs. They're all the same line repeated, so all of the ranges are going to be the same. So we can just go ahead, look at our y-axis, and just look at one of our lines. So let's just go with this middle one. So if we're looking at just one of our lines, we want to again find our lowest point. If we follow this line, it's going to keep going down, so we won't actually have an actual value. Instead, our lowest point will just be -infinity. Now if we look at our highest point, this line is going to keep going up, so again we won't have an actual value, and it'll just be +infinity. And then since infinities aren't actual numbers, we never actually include them, so we'll always use parentheses. So then our range for tangent will be parenthesis -infinity, infinity parenthesis. I hope that helps, and if you still have trouble with this concept, feel free to reach out for additional help. Thanks for watching.